So, what was your question you had about this game?
So, well, I thought I played properly, but
Mm-hmm.
the moment we arrived to the front line, they just had gat guns, and then we just got driven back.
Mm.
Yeah, just instantly defeated. Then I tried to switch to T2 as quick as possible,
Mm-hmm.
but they already had T2 before that. They had 10 Sheldons by the time my lap popped, so I genuinely don't know what I was supposed to do here.
Okay. Yeah, Thomas is actually really, really good. Okay. He actually got lab up before you, surprisingly. And that was with no mexes. Maybe did you overflow on that lab?
Yes, I
Yeah.
stalled.
Are you stalled on energy? You didn't overflow
Yeah,
energy? Maybe
yeah, I
he
stalled.
used crystals. He might have used crystals to boost himself a little bit.
Maybe.
Lots of wind here. But yeah, generally artillery and ranged units are really strong in on these lanes because it's a very small lane. So artillery shots are about this big, right? And the fact that if you have like 5 of them, you can block out this much of the lane is really, really powerful. So I like to have vehicles. If I'm in like this position, if I'm in like this position here by Parsi, I love to go for artillery because of that aggression you can give and the long range damage you can do. It's just really insane. So part of it is probably just having to do with backup. Honestly, the OS is stacked against you as far as backup goes as well. Min
Well, they
wind
had the
is
player
worse.
extra. That's for
Yeah,
sure. But
you did have a player extra. Yeah, but I don't know what exactly that did for you guys, because I don't think he did much with that.
no, he wasn't there at all. Parsi
Yeah.
built a gauntlet. We'll see, but
Okay.
he also
Yeah, I
did
mean, you guys have good
hostage.
control right now. I think you're doing all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Good control. Did you try to abuse walls at all?
What do you mean by that?
So like with plasma bots and rocket bots, they can shoot over walls, but when like they get attacked from behind the wall, it's going to be easily like blocked from the wall. So let me try to give you an example. I'm gonna pause.
I see what you mean. No, I didn't do that.
Okay,
But I see
because
what you
like
mean.
if for some reason early in the game you have a disadvantage, walls can turn a disadvantage into an advantage still. So and that's something I probably should have done in my lane because we had a massive disadvantage here. I should have probably taken my commander, build some walls, and use that disadvantage and turn it into an advantage where I'm blocking hits with the walls, soaking the hits while my vehicles are punching. So that's something I probably should have done. You lost because your 2 teammates didn't fight for mid. That could have been part of it. I mean, I don't hate this gauntlet, to be honest. It's not bad. It does cover a decent range. So that's good. It's just the question you have to ask is, can I put pressure? How can I put the most pressure on my opponent? And the gauntlet takes longer to achieve pressure than units do, generally, because of the build time and the metal cost. So it's like you're reserving a lot of the pressure to be released all at once. And there's also risk to that because while Parsi is building the gauntlet, he is also not able to produce. Oh, and he transitions straight to T2. That's very risky. This is not a good play on his part because he has 2 giant metal sucks. You have 3K metal plus another 4.5K metal being being asked for. I don't know how much he has right now. He has only 900, so he's gonna stall out heavily there. Part of that's probably just not knowing what to do and how to play. But anyway, so let's try to aside from that, let's try to focus on what you did personally.
Yeah.
So towers are fine, good to have them. I like the fact they're further back, so they're not going to be sniped by rocket bots or anything. Our economy is low, though a rather weak economy. Only two cons coming out and 4 solar panels. So
yeah.
your energy, where are you getting your energy from?
I'm reclaiming whatever.
Just reclaim?
Lazarus. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be temporary solution. I would recommend probably for you, before you leave your base, I like to get at least 1 con turret out. That way you have a consistent 200 build power. Whereas with like, if you had no con turrets, then your factory stalls. Like right now, you're almost metal overflowed.
Yeah.
And that's partially from build power, I think. So, and if you do reclaim, you don't get as much value from that reclaim because you can't spend it either. So that's also not good.
So con turret instead of, because I built another con bot to boost. I had 2 boosts the entire time.
Yeah.
So instead of that con turret, you'd recommend? Okay.
I would recommend so this is what I do for opening. I build 1 con right off the bat, unless it's a very, very high pressure situation where I have to get something at the front, like a lot of reclaim or something. Then I'll build like a red spot and a couple grunts or whatever. But generally 1 con right off the bat. That con is going to go into a con turret and a bunch of energy. Just basically constantly scaling my energy as the battle continues. That con turret, after it's like at minimum halfway built, I'll push my commander forward, because then I can get the max value of pushing forward and claiming metal extractors.
Gotcha.
I'll often get like 2 or 3 grunts, or whatever faction you use, so pawns, 6, whatever, however many you want in between another constructor. So that way you want 2 constructors, 1 going out to the front line to assist the commander, and if you need like con turrets at the front line or a gauntlet at the front line, whatever, you can use that constructor on the front line. And he also can help get mexes up faster as well on the front line. So I usually have him separated by a handful of raiding units. That way I can stop any raids that happen early, tick spam, or people trying to snipe my mexes, whatever. And then from there I'll go fully into unit production. So like maces, rockabouts. Now I'm not saying I can guarantee this is the best way to do it, but it usually works pretty good for me when I do it that way. Just because I have a solid build power back at base, I have energy scaling back at base, and I also have a decent aggression on the front line with like forward progress. I need a professor outfit for coaching sessions. You're hilarious. Okay, so yeah, you took ground there, which is good. Yeah, you're doing really well. You're overflowing though quite a bit, and that's all build power. That's all build power. So not only are you overflowing, but you also have a decent amount of metal, 400 metal in your area. So like think of it like that. You're overflowing on top of 400 extra metal that you could have too. So that's kind of almost two forms of overflow in my opinion. So they have, honestly, Thomas is overflowing quite a bit as well. He was for a while anyway. And then Pickle is not. Your energy is a good situation. Yeah, it's all about scaling, I think, from what I'm seeing. Is just improper build power scaling. And that's why, let's go ahead and take a look at my blueprint. That's why I really like this blueprint, because you have a single con turret that can boost lab and scale your wind power. Then you have an energy storage, which is good. You need at least one energy storage when you go T2, because then the metal extractors cost so much to get energy to produce them, and they take a bit more energy to run them. So having that energy storage, even just one, adds some relief to the T2 transition. And then as I go, I'm increasing build power and energy as I go to match. So like build power and energy are being increased simultaneously as I go, which is very valuable because that's a proper scaling into T2. So this is where I think blueprints are very viable, and that is get your scaling to be just hands-free. That's pretty handy, you know?
Yeah. Now here they start putting down the large.
Heavy laser turret. Yep. Now,
and
one thing I love to do when people do this is if you have an energy storage, so like one energy storage or two energy storage, and they're full, cloak your commander. Once this gets close to full, I don't know if you have vision of it. Yeah, you do. So once it gets close to max, I mean, these things cost what, 500 metal, and usually they have a lot of build power around here, and you can see they have a lot of defenses. You cloak your commander and push in, calm bomb that puppy. I do that almost every time I am facing a gauntlet that I get vision of, and heavy laser turrets I'll occasionally do as well. You're also 2v3 kind of, which is tough. So there is the risk you wouldn't get the metal, but think about it. Your commander has what, 1,250 metal? Well, in this area, I think every light laser turret here, so that's what, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. Then if this is full, that's another like 1,000. You'll probably kill the commander. So there's a decent chunk of metal there you're going to be wiping. Even if you get 0 of the corpses, you'll still get close to value with it, if that makes sense. But that can only be done if you have, once again, proper scaling in the back line, where build power is less of an issue. And right now the build power is a big issue there. So but yeah, that's an emergency thing. If for some reason things are looking badly, like this one too, this would probably be an even better target because you have 2 commanders you could possibly take out. And
can you stream?
What?
Can you stream? I didn't want to interrupt, but I want to watch what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I am streaming on Twitch. You can hop over there and take a look.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so this is like a even better target because there's 2 commanders you can take out, which would be huge, and a little bit more army value, I think, as well. So something to keep in mind is to use the commander as an explosion.
That has never occurred to me.
Yep. You just want to make sure you have like 2 energy storages full of energy. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to. Waxnail, thank you for the follow. Anyway, so yeah, that's my tidbit there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, well, from now on they just bulldoze us back, so I guess a calm bomb was the answer here.
Yeah, that's what if I'm losing heavily, sometimes that's a good answer. And yeah, you want to get your calm cloaked before you go into fight, because oftentimes when he's taking damage, for some reason he doesn't cloak very fast. It's very weird. I've been noticing that more lately. So make sure you get cloaked before you go in, and then that also helps the fire to be like he will take a lot less damage while you're going in as well. Yeah, Kadabra. Oh my goodness, this guy is, yeah, he was a struggle that game. My goodness. I'm surprised too. Like 3 Chev should be better, but it's because the laser attacking interrupts the cloak. Ah. I didn't realize that laser fire interrupts the cloak. Yeah, that Overwatch tower was honestly a good play. I like that.
Yeah, but it went down pretty quickly in a
Sure.
second.
You need resbots too. I think one thing you're missing is resbots. Also, do you use the repeat command
Repeat?
for your bot lab?
No, I in the early game I manually queue everything on one build.
Yeah, I think that repeat commands are really, really strong, because when you get into a very tense moment, sometimes your lab goes down, and that can lead to overflow. So even if you're not producing exactly what you want, you're producing something. Because still, this whole game, you know, it's metal stall or metal overflow, which is bad, you know. So, as much spending as you can do, the better. You want to be metal stalled rather than, metal stalled rather than metal overflow. Just trying to get to that point. And I'm bad with it too. People always harass me so much, saying that like you're really you're overflowing all the time. You flow so much metal, and it's true. I try my best, but it happens, especially if you get a win. It happens so fast. So, but yeah,
All right.
try. I would just say attempt to use the repeat command on occasion and see how you like it. You're probably going to use it wrong for a while, because you're going to realize the ratios are incorrect or something like that, but over time you'll get the hang of what works and what doesn't with it, and it's really, really powerful to just have. Yeah, so
All right. I'll try it out for sure.
Battle started.
Thank you for the subscription, Commander.
oh
You are that.
thank you. Who subscribed? It's not popping up on my thing.
It's
Oh, Waxno. Okay. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So here they just I'm pretty sure I e-stall.
Yeah, you are stalled. And yeah, it's all scaling, honestly. From what I'm seeing, like
Yeah.
most of the problems can be fixed through scaling.
I agree.
Oh man. See, and this is where as time's progressing, a calm bomb is getting juicier and juicier. Like it's actually almost better to do it later, honestly. But like you have to have the proper support, because you need if you're going to do a calm bomb, you want to have a decent amount of units to be able to push in afterwards. You want to have resbots available to try to get the corpse, and just like take full advantage of it. So it's something that you also, I need to work on this part significantly, but you need to prepare for the calm bomb rather than pressure yourself too quickly to do it. That way you can get the optimal advantage from it. So usually by preparing, what you're going to want to do is, if you're calm bombing here and your units are lined up close, you want to pull your units back slightly. You want to have your res bots like right behind, something like 5-10 res bots. Then after the commander goes kaboomy, everything charges forward, res bots ready to reclaim, because both parties are probably going to pull their troops back. So their troops are going to be back here. your troops are going to be back there, and you're going to be charging towards that central location. So as troops fall, the best thing to do is to try to reclaim all of the metal as they're falling. So like you're losing units, rocket bots are going down, maces are going down, and you're sucking up those units as you go, as they're falling. And then ultimately going for the commander corps in the center as the juicy 1.25k prize, right? Something like that. So, yeah, preparation for that fight after the comm bomb. Not recommended in the 1v1.